So we're just gonna get started because if I don't start, it's never gonna happen. That's just how it is in life. You know, I would like to think about it, but then I won't ever, do it. Anyhow, so welcome to Am I Still John? Today we're gonna talk about my surgery. I had gallbladder surgery, and I'm gonna talk about my experience with it. I had to get my gallbladder taken out because I am genetically predisposed to be defective in many ways, including having gallbladder issues. And so I am one of five in a family of five, okay, of my core nuclear family. And only two of us, me included, had, well, okay, so I'm saying this all wrong. So three of us already had to get the gallbladders taken out. Now the two youngest ones, me being one of the second to the youngest, just recently had to have it done. And so now my poor little sister, she's just, hanging on a thread trying to hold on to that gallbladder. And I tell her, I'm like, Mija, you got to hold on to this thing because it sucks. It's not cool, right? But anyhow, so years of poor diet, genetics, whatnot, I had to get it removed. So I went through this long, okay, we'll get to that. I went through this long process of going through all the proper channels to do things right through Long Beach Memorial Hospital. It took like a year almost. Actually, no, I'm not gonna be dramatic. It took, what month are we in? It took 10 months because started happening in January. So the ball started getting rolled in January, and I just barely had the surgery on September 10th. I had it done, approved and done at Long Beach Memorial Hospital in the great city of Long Beach in Southern California, just south of Los Angeles. And also a suburb of Los Angeles in Los Angeles County. I believe Long Beach is. Yes, it is. So anyhow, everybody at the hospital was super nice, super great. But I get there, it's like 5:15 in the morning. I go through the whole process. I haven't ate or drank anything since like 9:30. Actually, it was really 10 o'clock. It was really 10 o'clock because, I was hungry. But don't judge me. I was like, if I choke on my own vomit and die, then you know what? So let it be. Because that Caesar salad at that hotel, oh man, it was good. I got to tell you. It didn't even have chicken in it either. But that Caesar salad at that Hilton Hotel, Paris Hilton, you be doing something to that salad. Let me tell you, girl, you be doing something to that salad because I ate her at 10 o'clock knowing damn well I wasn't supposed to eat anything a half hour before. So anyhow, from a half hour before. So I go there, I check in, everything starts happening pretty rapidly. Everybody's really nice. I go in and I get like the gown to dress into. And so it's like immediately like my old prison experience of having to strip out and stuff like that. Of course, there's privacy curtains there because I'm not in prison, thankfully. And they do try to treat you with some respect because you're just a patient now. You're not an inmate or an inmate patient, an inmate patient at a prison hospital. But I still had those like flashbacks and stuff like that. And so it's like, okay, I'm being put behind a curtain, told to strip out and things like that. And like my possessions are put in bags. And, I was going to be the one that was trying to bring the selfies, just the selfies like this as I'm being wheeled away. Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to do all that, but they weren't trying to hear me. They weren't trying to hear me at all. So I got a few in, right? And if you follow me on Instagram, J_Sanchez 369, you'll see that I have some stuff posted. And I talked to the nurses. They're all so amazing. They're all so great. This is the first time I've ever been put under, right? So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna be one of those people that like are awake the whole time, but can't say or move anything. Like they're just paralyzed there. Did I just make up a word? I think I did, but that's okay. But you get the point, right? I'm like, dude, is that gonna be me? So no, like it didn't. I was out. I was so out like a light, right? But they're putting in the IV and they're talking to me. They're shaving me down because I'm a hairy dude, right? And I'm looking pretty scruffy right now too. But so like the guy, he's a hot nurse, right? Or whatever the hell he was, the one that shaved me. So I walk in, they give me a bed, I'm in my gown, and he comes back and he shaves me. He's like, hi, my name is Armin. And I said, oh, as in Armin me? And he's like, yeah, I'll be right back to shave you down because you're a hairy And I'm like, okay. No, really. He just said his name is Armin, right? But I'm thinking, oh, okay, Armin me? or Armand the vampire from Interview with the Vampire. You know, I'm thinking like, oh man, you're hot, even though you're kind of short, but you got good skin, right? And so I'm here for all of that. And so he comes back to shave me. So he pulls my dress up. Then he pulls the blanket down. And like I'm exposed for a brief moment here, right? But I'm like over it. Like I don't care because like I have no shame anymore because like prison beat it the hell out of me pretty much. And so I mean he's a nurse too, so I'm like, dude, this is your job, like whatever, okay? But as he goes to use the clippers on me, actually as he goes to fix the blanket over my genitals, his naked finger, because it wasn't gloved yet, brushed against my penis. Oh, I was like, oh, instantly nipples hard, right? I'm like, okay, great, like freaking A, like he just touched me, you know. But like, okay, but at the same time, it was like, okay, it's not really a big deal, and he's like a nurse, and his name is Armin Me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so me and Armin Me are kicking it there now, and he's touching my penis, just for a second, on accident. He didn't mean to. I know he didn't. So he was really great, really professional, and he just like does the deed and like shaves my belly, and I'm just like, dude, like, and like the top of my pubes too, and I'm just like, God, okay, like, well, this is real, right? This is real. I'm about to get like surgerized, right? And so like, and then on the other side, there's a girl, really nice girl, putting in an IV, and I could feel all kinds of stuff dripping on my hand. And at first I thought maybe it's IV fluids, right? But then after she wiped it off and put my hand back on the bed, I could see like the caked blood, like right here and stuff. So apparently I'm a bleeder when you're trying to put an IV in me, just so you know, okay? So I'm like, okay, great. But thankfully it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was, because I've always heard like horror stories of like IVs hurting really bad when they go in. And so I was just kind of like, ugh. And I'm trying to answer questions to the other nurse who's in the computer asking me the same 12 questions for the third time. Third of 5, mind you. And so I get it. Fine. Security, you want to be sure. I'm with it. Let's do it. And so I can't even answer her questions like, what's your name and stuff like that, because I'm too distracted by no longer the shaving now and the penis touching, because he's gone now, but by the IV being penetrated into my hand, because that kind of freaked me out, I got to tell you. And then, so we get through that part, and then the anesthesiologist comes in, and she's cool. She looks cool. She looks like she goes to punk shows and stuff like that. Doctor, whatever the hell her name is, I don't know. But then she has like this other guy that's there with her, who's actually going to be the one that's taking charge of me, and he's hot, right? He looks like a USC like football player, hot white boy, just like, I'm just like, so you're gonna put me to sleep, huh? No, really, I was just like this though. I was just like, so am I gonna be awake for this? No, Mr. Sanchez, you're not going to be awake. This is blah, 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 blah. I know you have questions and concerns. That's actually the number one question, is if you're really going to actually be awake and feel it all. But that's really minuscule. Forget whatever percentage he threw at me, but I'm like, okay, like, because you know I'm going to freak out, right? But maybe I won't freak out because like I'll be paralyzed. So maybe I won't freak out, but that's what freaks me out. No, Mr. Sanchez, you're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to give you something to make you feel good before you go in there. Now, who in the hell started that phrase? We're going to give you something to make you feel good before you go in there. Like, they don't know they're talking to an ex-drug addict. You know what I mean? I'm just like, or recovering drug addict, I should say. I'm like, you're going to give me something to make me feel good, right? Make me feel good, right? Oh, I got an itch. So, I'm like, okay. So they inject, like, in my IV, some type of like green colored dye, pigment, something, but like it starts to go in there. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like, I swear to God, they injected something else again, like the same color. Like, I don't know if I got a double dose or not, but then things start happening fast, and they're like, okay, let's get him in there, blah, 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 blah. So I get taken through doors, then through another door, and through another door, and it's just like sterile white walls with green doors, and I'm like, I know I'm in the belly of the beast right now, right? They're about to cut me open, right? And so I'm like, well, what the hell? But I'm feeling good now, right? I'm feeling good, because I'm like, what the hell? Like, yeah. And they're like, all right, Mr. Sanchez, is that kicking in for you? Are you feeling good? I kid you not. My face, my words. Yeah. I said, yeah. As I was feeling good, I'm like, dang, I need this on a drip constantly, like through the next 40 years of my life. You know what I mean? Or if I would have had them in the last 40 years of my life, I probably wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be having all these problems. But and then like they go to trick me again, right? Because it's my first time having surgery, right? I didn't really know what to expect, and they put the mask on me, and they're like, "Okay, Mr. Sanchez, breathe deep. This is just gonna help you relax. This is just gonna help you relax, right?" No, that was to knock my ass out, right? I didn't know that that was the time. The time was real, right? But I took a deep ass breath. I'm just like, and I'm holding it in like I'm smoking dope or something, right? And I'm like, and they're like, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Just breathe normal. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know. I thought I was taking a hit right now, right? So I'm like, okay, like, and like breathe again. I'm like, okay, like God, like I like to space out my hits, right? So I'm just like, and I'm like, oh, okay. I started to feel itchy, right? Because the dope's kicking in. So I go to scratch my nose, and like, oh, I got plastic there. And like, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. I'm like, okay, dang, you don't gotta yell. So I put my hand back down, and bam, curtains. I was done. Just curtains, just act two. You know what I mean? Like I was done, and then I wake up in the most unbelievable discomfort that I've felt, I think, ever, like in my body, other than like a gallbladder attack as it is. But it was totally different. Like I felt like my whole abdomen just like swelled up, because apparently they pump you full of air to do these processes, because they got to get in there with their machines and stuff. And I had robotic surgery. There is something called laparoscopic, robotic, and just basically invasive surgery, where they just gut you and pull the thing out, right? And I imagine it looking like a little alien, you know what I mean, wiggling around and stuff, trying to gasp for life. But that's how I picture my gallbladder in its last final throes of trying to exist. Because my gallbladder didn't do anything wrong. It always did right by me. It always tried to be there for me. And I just pumped him full of fatty ass foods for a long time, and she just couldn't take it anymore. She tapped out. She tapped the hell out. You know what I mean? And so I got the gallstones, and then they tried to kill me, kind of like my car is trying to kill me. But that's another story, which we've talked about, I believe. And so I wake up, and she's like, "Are you feeling some kind of pain? I gave you something for nausea. Do you feel nauseous?" And I was like, "Actually, I do feel kind of nauseous." She's like, "Okay, well, I gave you something. I'll give you a little more. What about pain?" I was like, "I hurt." I said like this, "I hurt." like my arms up. I'm like trying to get up, but she's like, "Just lay back." And then she injects Dilaudid into my IV, and like it helped. But dude, I still hurt, right? I wasn't trying to dope fiend. This wasn't a dope fiend moment for me. I swear to God. She's like, "Do you still hurt?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, yes. Like I felt sensations I've never felt before, so it was just too much. And so she injects another one in me. And I think there was one more after that, or maybe that was the last one. I don't know. But after that, I felt pretty damn good, I gotta tell you. Dilaudid, this episode is brought to you by Dilaudid. Always have it when you're recovering from surgery. I would show you right now, but I don't have any, and if I did, that'd probably be a problem, because that's probably illegal. But anyhow, and so I'm looking at my scars and whatnot, and I'm just like, oh my God, which I'll show pictures too of you guys, for you guys. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I literally got like stabbed like 4 times, and one of them's like right in my belly button. And I'm like, that was the one, and the one directly to the left of the belly button, my left. Those are the ones that are the most discomforting for me. It's just, it was a very quick feeling better scale. Like every hour that went by, I felt so much more better than the hour before. I'm moving around, of course. It's not a serious surgery, but it's still surgery, right? They still cut me open, put foreign objects in me, and cauterized, and ripped something out of my body, right? I went through a something. And it was my first time under. And you know what? I gotta tell you, that Michael Jackson nap I took right now, it don't get any better than that. I could see why she was trying to get that propofol. I could see why. Okay, because she felt good. I was done. I was dark, lights out. And it's like I have a memory of the darkness, right? But it's not really any dreams. Like I was just in a room that was just velvety black. And there was just nothingness and peace. And you know what? If that's death, I think I could do that. I really think I could. But anyhow, and so now I'm recovering. I almost said recouping, but I blended the words. But I'm recovering now at my family's home, as you can tell. Today's my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to my mom. That was surgery for me. And I suggest that you take care of your bodies and not have surgery if you don't need it. But thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll leave it here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that out. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This has been Am I Still John? Thank you for staying along this long, and I hope to have some guests soon. And remember that you are special, you are unique, and there's nobody else like you in this world. So please continue to be that person and be the best version of that person possible. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.